Hey there, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I meal prep some of my food, mainly like chicken and turkey today, ground turkey. I have been doing this for a long time, even before I was fasting. So basically, I'm just going to like show you guys what I've got here, and then yeah, I'll show you what I do. So I just take Ziploc baggies, really easy to use, easy to freeze, easy to dispose of. So basically, we're gonna be putting all the chicken and turkey and stuff into these. I also get out a little pot. I put all the like fatty chunks and stuff that I'm not gonna eat, and I cook it up for the dogs because I have dogs, and I do that. Cutting board, knife, and then I have this ground turkey today. It's 85% lean, 15% fat. It's 3 pounds. Usually I just like buy the 1 pound packages, but this was on sale, so I got this kind. And then I'm not particular with brands. This is just what I have today. It's a little juicy, so I'm gonna try to hold it over the sink here. Just a like big pack of chicken breasts like this. These you can find reasonably priced at a lot of stores. I came from a small town. I used to only have basically Walmart to shop at, and I had to get stuff there, or Safeway. This was at Winco, so there's all kinds of places you can get. Now I have chicken juice all over my hands. Chicken like that, so yeah, let's get right into it. So I always choose to do this by the sink. That way I can keep my chicken, my like meat packets in the sink, and it's just easier to clean up. And that way when I go to wipe the counters, it's just easier by the sink. Okay, so for the chicken, since it's just Hunter and I, there's only 2 of us, I usually try to not fill my chicken bags too full. Chicken breasts if you want, and just put them in the bag. And then I also get rid of all the fatty stuff because I don't really like dealing with it when I go to cook it, and that's what I throw in this little pot here. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through and cut up all my chicken, and then I will put it in the bags for you. So once I have most of the fat, I'll leave like a little bit on. I'm not worried about like a tiny bit in the middle or whatever, but I try to get all the extra stuff off. Once I have all the fat off and it's just like a big old piece of chicken, I like to start on the heavier side, and I will just hold it down with my left hand and then take the knife and just kind of wiggle it back and forth as I slice through. And I try to kind of feel to make it somewhat even, and there you go. Have your pieces of chicken, and I'm not really picky. They don't have to be perfectly cut in half, just however I get it done. So like any of the fat on the chicken, if you kind of like lift it, it'll pull apart from the chicken, and then you can just slowly kind of barely put your knife against it, and it'll just fall right off usually. So that's a really easy way to kind of get rid of that gunky stuff, like so. So all my chicken breasts are sliced in half. Like I said, you don't have to do that if you like to have a whole chicken breast. I just find it's a lot of meat, and personally I don't eat that much, so you cut them in half, and that's like a whole serving for me. Sometimes even like the bigger ones are for Hunter, and the smaller pieces are for me usually. So if you know what meals you're gonna be making ahead of time, you can like marinate your chicken, and that like really helps give it flavor. Some of my favorite things to do is stick like a packet of Italian dressing mix, ranch dressing mix. This one I'm gonna try today is this Chipotle marinade. And you just stick it in the bag with some salt, pepper, olive oil, and throw the chicken in. And that will help marinate it, so it's even like easier when you go to cook it. You just pull it out, cook it however you want, grill it, or cook it in a pan or whatever. And that's a really easy way to marinate it. But if you don't know like what kind of meals you're wanting to make ahead of time, then you can just do it simple. You can do it with with olive oil and salt and pepper if you want, or if not, then you don't have to do anything. You can just put the chicken in the bags, which is what I do like most of the time, unless, like I said, I know the specific way I want it to be cooked. Yeah, if you're gonna be making like Italian food, you can use Italian seasoning, or if you're gonna be doing like fajitas, you can do fajita seasoning. There's so many different ways you can like marinate it beforehand, which is awesome. But this is just like my general way of prepping it. So I do know I want to try this Chipotle one, and so I'm gonna just take one of my bags and stick some olive oil in it. Sorry, my head's getting hot. So I'll just stick like a little bit in there. You don't really need a lot. I mean, you can put really as much as you want, but you don't need a lot. Because I'm using that marinade, I'm gonna put a little bit more though, just so it kind of make sure I fully coat my chicken. Chipotle marinade. It smells amazing. I'm gonna pour that right in with the olive oil. And I'm gonna kind of mix it with the oil before I put the chicken in. That way it just spreads evenly and easier. So typically I'll put about 3 pieces of chicken per bag, just because I always will eat one. Sometimes I'll do 4, but I usually will eat just 1 piece of chicken breast, and Hunter will sometimes have 2. And then if I do 4, usually we'll have a leftover. Sometimes he's not as hungry, he'll only eat 1, and we can have 1 or 2 leftovers. So that's how I do it. So I'm gonna split this turkey into 3 because it's a 3-pound thing, and I usually just buy 1 pound, so yeah. So this is the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to prepping and freezing meals ahead of time in these Ziploc baggies. This is like the most important step, is to flatten them all out. And the reason why is because it makes it so easy, not only in your freezer will it save space and look better, but it makes it so easy for mealtime. When I pull out one of these bags of chicken, I can either pull it out a few hours ahead of time and kind of let it thaw, you know, for a while if I remember. But if I forget to pull it out and it's like getting close to dinner time and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta make dinner. If you stick a bag of one of these frozen meats in warm or hot water, like just put it in your sink or in a pot in warm or hot water, it'll be thawed out in 30 minutes. I'm not even joking. If you do it right and flatten them out, then you can thaw it out in 30 minutes and then cook it right up, and it's awesome. So this is really important step. So I keep it open at first while I'm kind of going to flatten it out. And the turkey is easy. You can kind of just like spread it out. But the thinner you can get it, the better the faster it'll thaw. So then once it's pretty much flattened, I'm gonna go ahead and zip it most of the way. I'm still gonna leave the corner open and get all the air out. And then finish zipping it up. And so that's one. So it's just as important to get the chicken flat as well. So if you have 4 pieces like I do, you just want to lay them out flat. So I'm gonna do that with the chicken. Also with the chicken, make sure that it's not like folded over onto itself. that it's flattened out, like each piece of chicken is flattened out too. So if you are seasoning your chicken, or you did like pre-season it, it'd be a good idea to write with Sharpie what kind it is. So I could write on this one that this is Chipotle, but you want your bags to look really flat like this. And that's how you're gonna freeze them. So you can stack these right on top of each other in your freezer just like this. And if you want to separate, you can too, like put the chicken together and the turkey together. This works just as good with ground beef. I used to use ground beef, I just don't eat it as often anymore. But if you want to prep some ground beef, this is a great way to freeze it and keep it good. That way you're not wasting groceries, especially as a faster. This is just amazing because you don't eat as often, you only eat every other day. So you want to keep your food good and fresh. So yeah, this is how I do it. And then, yeah, like I said, when it comes to time to make it, you just pull it out. If you're in a rush, you can stick it in warm water for 30 minutes and it'll thaw out. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to show you right now. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.